Awesome. Well, thank you so much for everyone for joining in and welcome to our first day of this live presentation and critique day for this very first design challenge of this year at IterateUX. Super excited to kick things off. We have 2 more days of presentations. Looking forward to all of them. So for those of you who might be new here, we are IterateUX. We are it's an open virtual Discord community who helps UXers learn, connect, and grow your career. And people of all experience levels are welcome, and it's not limited to just designers. We have multiple offerings here at IterateUX, where we host virtual meetups where you can pop in and listen to our guest speakers, share their journey and their takeaways and expertise. We have resume and portfolio reviews as well, and also helping with mock-up interviews to help you land your dream role at as a designer. And we also have one-on-one mentorship and design feedback sessions. And one of our biggest offerings is the design challenges, which you are a part of right now, where you're viewing presentations from teams participating in this design challenge. So we're always looking to grow our team as well. If this is something that is of interest to you, Jasmine should have shared some links if you want to get involved with us and in this community as well. Either as a volunteer or just as a participant, there should be links in the chat. So I'm Rupen. I'll be the host today. I'm the design challenge team lead here at IterateUX, helping organize these challenges. We also have Jasmine, who's also helping us organize these design challenges, and she's going to be helping us moderate this event today. So excited to be kicking off the day 1 of live presentations. We do have 2 more days. Tomorrow is the day 2, followed by day 3, day after tomorrow. We'll be sharing announcements and links and invitations for these events as well. So be sure to look out for that on our Discord channel as well as our social media. If you do like what we're doing here at IterateUX, feel free to support us by sending donations to Coffee to keep our services going. All of us here are volunteers, so every donation you make goes straight back into the community to help us keep improving our offerings. So today is the day 1 of the presentations. We have 2 teams, Team 8 and 15, presenting. So Team 8 will be going first. They'll be presenting for 20 minutes, where Mymoon will be providing feedback on what was done well and what could be improved for 10 minutes. Team 15 will go second. Again, same thing for 20 minutes of presentations, followed by a 10-minute of feedback. Just a few housekeeping before we begin. Please make sure you are on mute throughout the presentation. If you do have any questions, you can leave it in the chat and we'll make sure we address them at the very end. And if you haven't already, make sure you join our Discord community for any future events and workshops and basically any offerings that we have. And also this event is recorded and will be shared on our YouTube channel as well. So without further ado, I would like to get started. So Team 8, feel free to share your screen and we can begin the first presentation of the day.
So can I start?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yours.
So good evening from Vancouver. So we are Team Lending Pulse, and today we are going to share our case study of the Empowering International Students Lending Support app. I am Subin Choi. Let me introduce our amazing teammates, Young and our mentor, Prubi. So today's agenda is following design thinking process: project overview, discover, define, ideate, prototype, test, final design, and next step. So it was the famous video of foreign student facing the host country. Likewise, they're eager to pick up local using words and phrases. Therefore, let me introduce you Lending Pulse, International Student Lending Support Learning App. Here is our design process of 6 weeks following design thinking, discover, define, ideate, prototype, and test. We went back and forth after testing and having feedbacks, and we iterated a lot to make product better used for users. It was indeed an agile UX design process. Our project was 6 weeks design challenge using Figma, Notion, and Slack Coda. Lending Pulse project is about empowering international students with personalized language learning and vital lending support, seamlessly addressing cultural and practical challenges. Correspondingly, our problem statement is international students face various challenges in adapting to a new country, such as language barriers, cultural differences, and the need for English-speaking friends. Existing support systems may not fully address these needs, causing feelings of isolation and frustrations. An interactive online learning platform using AI could offer a promising solution. Our target audience is international students studying abroad who are seeking support with language learning, cultural adaptation, and practical integration into their new environment. And before we dive deep into the discover and define phrases, we thought of how users encounter challenges after their landing to the host country. Language barriers, cultural differences, lack of English-speaking friends, and feelings of isolation and frustrations. Then we set up our goals: language proficiency, enhancement, lending support, empowerment and self-development, AI for personalized user experience. To validate the problem we hypothesized international students face, we conducted through research. Our goal was to confirm whether language barriers, cultural differences were indeed prevalent challenges among international students. Through our research, we sought to gather real-world insights that would inform the development of our solution. Firstly, we conducted a user survey, targeted people who are or were international students. 16 people answered. And our key insights were 82% of people encounter language barriers or communication challenges in their daily lives. 70% of people likely to participate in daily language learning challenges on a mobile app. 67% of individuals find it challenging to adjust to a local culture. Then we did user interviews for qualitative research with 5 international students from Taiwan, Mexico, Korea, Japan, and an American international student in Japan. They said, I want to use a sentence or word that I can use in specific situations. I wish there was a community where I could talk to people in real life and get information. Fearing miscommunication due to my English skills and cultural understanding, I often feel isolated when I can't fully grasp conversations. I feel the cultural isolation when I'm in a position where I can't fully understand conversations. Key insights from here were they think speaking English in real life in the host country is different from what they learned. And they use an online community to gather info and where they can interact with people. People are more likely to feel a language gap when they feel cultural differences. There are strong need in information from locals indeed. And now I will introduce Juyang and he will talk about competitive analysis.
We analyzed a total of 6 competitors. Preplay, Tandem, and Duolingo are language apps, and DreamUX and UK UCAS are apps for international students. In this stage, we identify each company's strengths and weakness and what features they have in their apps. The strengths of free-flowing language-specific app are the large number of tutors and the personalized learning experience. The weaknesses are the difficulty in managing them due to the large number of tutors and the concentration on popular language rather than tutors who teach all language. The strengths of Tandem are that it's peer-to-peer language exchange and is based on everyday conversations. The weakness is that the matching system is problematic and it is difficult to have real-time conversation because the people you are matched with are in different time zones. Duolingo's strength is innovate language learning approach. Duolingo is innovate language learning methodology, which combine gamifications and adaptive learning and bite-sized lesson, distinguished from traditional language learning platforms and community engagement. Duolingo fosters a sense of community among users through the features such as discussion forums, leaderboards, and social sharing. And also they have adaptive learning as a strength. Duolingo uses algorithm to adapt lesson based on user strengths, weakness, and learning styles. And then the weakness of Duolingo are lack of speaking practice. Although Duolingo offers speaking exercise, but they don't provide sufficient practice for developing conversational fluency and limited feedback. Duolingo's feedback is limited, simple, correct, or incorrect. And in the picture phase, both free-play and Tandem apps have live interaction. And then free-play and Tandem Duolingo have an onboarding system, and also they have personalized learning modules, and they have Tandem have virtual immersions, and free-play Tandem also have live interaction, and Tandem Duolingo have community system. Can you go next, please? These three apps are for international students. The first is Dream USA, and Dream USA's strengths include the translate button on each page, which help international students with language issue, and it is to find the article for international students with the app. Their weakness include limited information and lack of interactivity. Most of the pictures are for leading information only, but it is not personalized because it only has information for international student that is generic. The second is international student.
I'm gonna take a bite there.
Oh yeah, UK. The strengths of UK are that it has a lot of useful information for international students. It is specific about detail and it provides official information about local social norms and customs. Weaknesses include no interaction and no personalization, and finally, there is the UCAS International. UCAS strengths include housing, assistance, scholarship to apply for a job application system for international students. The weaknesses are the same as the previous app, lack of interaction and limited information. And next, we'll soon take next part.
Thank you, Juyang. We created our user persona, Yuki. He is international student from Japan who landed in United States, and he feels frustrated because he struggles to understand and adapt to the cultural nuances of his new environment. These problems accelerate his frustration and compounding the difficulties he experiences in communications. We also practice value proposition and empathy mapping to better understand user needs and develop effective solutions. Affinity mapping proved invaluable in consolidating insights and identifying key themes, new, useful, feasible, based on Louvre principle, ensure our ideas were both innovative and practical, aligning with user needs and project goals. While we categorized them, the things we focused were pocket language support, instant support, AI support, call support, bite-sized lesson, gamification, real-time feedback, stress-free, AI chatbot service, daily-based curriculum for easy start. Then we did How Might We? Key How Might We was how might we provide cultural orientation sessions or resources to help international students on familiar social norms? How might we implement features in the app that encourage interactions and connections among reduced feelings of isolations? Based on those thoughts, we created user journey with notes and map, mapping Yuki's first day of university orientation. He could not join the native speaker group friends conversation because he does not get the context, shortened words along with their accent and the places he doesn't know. While we mapping this, we grabbed 5 key focus features. AI-generated questionnaires to set up account, conversation, talking contents, education feature, region growth feature, inclusive events, university tutoring, language exchange, AI chatbot for instant help, AI personalized daily challenge, language learning modules to study. We did crazy 8 drawings and solution drawings. And here are our sitemap. And we did create, and before we prototype, we ideated branding landing pulse. Green is the most relaxing color and stress reliever based on color theory, and it was a great fit to educational app. As you can see, we brought some characters to the content, and it is based on our research. Personalizing their own characters or just the character itself helps a lot to motivate users and bring positive behaviors. The good example of using this is Duolingo. And we chose Proxima Nova for modern aesthetics and readability and professionalism. Discover, define, and ideation phase help us to create 3 main key opportunities: learning with AI feedback, self-study with your own pace, and practice in community. And prototype and test. We conducted user testing, A/B testing with 5 international students with low fidelity prototype. And key takeaway is finding that too many upfront options can be overwhelming them and make decision-making difficult. And users preferred options that enables more precise interest specification, enhancing algorithm effectiveness. Then we move on to high fidelity prototype with 5 users again with in-person testing and Zoom meeting. And from this, key takeaway was user expressed a desire for personalized content to be readily visible upon opening the app. And save icon and function for bookmark, they prefer rather than save icon and functions to be there than a kebab menu because they need to click to see inside. Content size is too small or too big, so they recommend like a similar font and icon size with other apps. And for the final product, here our final product, Landing Pulse. Landing Pulse is waiting to you. Let's start. And what is your home country? This. What is your current host country? And they can select for the personalized content. And those options also make the personalized learning modules. And these 4 different learning styles are based on our user interview and user survey. Visual learners, auditory learners, and who prefer reading and writing while they are learning, and people who engage more in activities with hands-on learning. And those selection will generate AI for more interesting topics to the users. And the pulse is customizing your learning adventure. And it's home here. And it directly shows up the next up in course, so they don't need to see other stuff. It's right there for users. And Pulse topic reading today is the personalized recommendation based on the user's preference. And they can also get new recommendations while they change or they adjust their interest. And let's go to the bite-sized learning, like the video we saw earlier, sunny side up or scrambles. They can translate this and they can save to the card. And after learning, tap to start your streak. You're on a 1-day streak. And it shows up the status. Continue, came back home. And here's a profile. They can change and customize their icons and characters. And there's a favorites, achievements. So when they achieve something on this list, they get the vocabulary voyager or linguistic laureate. They can customize this tag as well. And there's an instant support called Sweet Pulse. They can show you some ideas to get you started, practicing English phone conversations, and they can also generate the ideas through AI. And they support language study and culture study and other stuff. And other questions like, I came to the pasta place, but order is self-service, server only serve my food. How much do I tip her? Those kind of little things that online doesn't show up easily. You can use our Sweet Pulse to solve that problem. And here is our medication documents packages scanner. It shows up how popular is it and how commonly used in the host country. And community, to use the community, users have a lot of concern about their privacy and their safety. So we made this process to make our Lending Pulse community to be safe and friendly space for all. And also make the accurate community information matter. And here's the guidelines. And now we are in community. And search, you can search by the date. And here are the events nearby us. And you might also like joined. You can join like this. And also there's a guide section, which is official tips from agency or a pro. So they can search out the info here and they can save it.
So this is the final stage of the landing part. We focus on personalized language features. Personalized language learning is leveraging AI to adapt the learning experience to each student's proficiency level, interest, and preferred learning styles. This includes interactive exercise, real-life scenarios, and multimedia content tailored to individual needs. Next, please. The next feature we also thought was important is the cultural and practical adaptations. Beyond the language, landing parts offer module on cultural nuance, everyday practicalities, like using local transportations, understanding local laws, or tip on local etiquette, and way to engage with the community. This addresses the landing support aspect by preparing students for life in their new environment, not just academically, but socially and practically. And next, community building is facilitating connection among international students through the app. Through the app can help create support network. Features include forums and local meetup or buddy system that pair newcomers with more experienced students. Lastly, real-time assistant and support call suite part. This is utilizing AI for on-demand support and whatever for language help, like a chatbot that assists with translation or explain language nuance, or for answering query about life in the host country. Also, it provide an AI generate class. In conclusion, we had two challenges throughout the project. One is finding solution for integrating AI-powered personalization features into the app's user interface, and the other one is establishing a distinctive brand identity that resonate with the target audience of international students. We also would like to more in the future, we would like to develop more study sections and visual study section, design system broader and broader target audience, newcomer like immigrant peoples. And thank you for the support from the IterateUX team and our amazing mentor, Proby and Akin.
Awesome. Thank you so much, teammate, for your thorough walkthrough of your design process. So I'd like to now pass it on to Mymoon to provide feedback on their presentation.
Sure. Perfect. First of all, amazing work by Team 8, Suvin and Jeong. I'm sorry if I pronounced your names wrong, but then this is great work. I mean, tremendous work. Can you just, can we get to the beginning of the slides, please? Yeah. But honestly, with just two-member team, this is quite some profound work. I did really like the way you guys have taken this topic. As you have introduced that, I mean, you have gone into the topic. I think a slight introduction of why did you pick this topic out of all which was given as a choice? I think that would have been a little, start of information. I would like, because as a design challenge, you were given a wide range of topics which you could choose from. But why did you as a team try to pick this problem statement? And what made you, what urged you to pick this would have been a little good one. Can we just go on slide one by one? Yeah. Right. So, International Students Landing Support app. Firstly, when you guys were telling me about this app, I thought it was more about language learning. Okay. It gave me an impression as though you're focusing on the linguistic part of the, problem which many of the international students face. But it's not just that. In your app, you do have solutions for going beyond just the language, or it's not the slang or the accent, or it's not just that. It's about you are welcoming the entire, a package. You're giving a package for the entire welcome for all the international students settling, offering country. So I mean, it's more like when I see the kind of research which you did, and you started off with a bit of competitive analysis with Duolingo and others. I felt like it was more focused on linguistic, but that's just a part of your offering. Your solutions had a lot more. So perhaps we need to just bring out that cultural problem which you're trying to address more apparently in your selling points. Okay, so that's one. And can we just go to the research part of it? I really like, I really like the point that you have made very clear with your target audience. Quite often in design challenge, people lose track of the target audience, so it's too general that anybody and everybody can use it. But since your target audience are very clear, I really appreciate that. But are we targeting audience who are just students who are trying to settle in other countries, or is it in anybody who is coming from any age range or anything else specific?
Firstly, we aimed for the contents for international students. Then
Right.
we got feedback from Pruby that why don't we develop more in newcomers, more immigrants, and we'll like to do it in next step, further development for
Definitely.
sure.
I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. The thing is that the choosing a very target specific user group for the design challenge is an advantage because you can be very clear with what you could emphasize on. I would really appreciate you picking a specific audience for design challenge. However, as an app, if you want to get into a market, as Purvi has recommended, it's always great to step up and address the larger people, because it's not just the students who are moving from one country to the other. It's a lot of mixed set of user groups. However, since this is a design challenge with a constrained time, I really appreciate that. With your competitive analysis, I also would, as an reviewer of this chat solution which you're presenting, or the case study, I would have loved to understand why you picked only these three research methods. You have picked user surveys, you have picked interviews, and you have picked competitive analysis, out of which user survey and the competitive analysis can be kind of treated secondary, whereas you have some interviews, which is primary. But out of so many other techniques of research, why did you guys pick on this? Was some sort of a rational, I as a reviewer would like to know, like, why did you feel that these methods were apt for your case study? Is something which can help and reviewer get an insight of how much you emphasize on research. Nevertheless, your competitive analysis looks really good. However, a point to improve on in terms of your research on survey and interview is that you especially in surveys, a count of just 15 to 16 people is a little low. You could have gone a bit more responses, but I understand as the time constraint there is only a limited set of responses you can wait for. However, when you're taking for real time, more than 50 or 60 responses would give you a good a pattern to look into what people are saying. And of course, your user interviews, I largely saw that you have taken people from Taiwan, Mexico, Korea, Japan, flying into US. Am I right? Right? So, how about the rest of the world? Like, I felt it was a little more towards eastern part of the world, and I understand Mexico is right near US, but how about overall? If the sampling or the chosen interview members were distributed across culturally, you would have got a little more better idea of what are their problems and what is their issues they face, and how you could have even interacted with students who have already faced the issues and solved the problems. Like, how did they do it? How did they get to consensus, and how did they overcome such things, right? So that is the feedback. Let's keep going. Yeah, let's keep going. Yep. Perfect. I mean, these empathy mappings, affinity mappings are really good, and I think these look great. Yeah. So in ideation phase, just one feedback, I felt it was largely AI driven. See, it's AI is just a tool with which you can bring in your solutions. But how would your solutions in general look like is something, if I would have, if there were points more regarding that, it would have been nice. But of course, the entire world is turning to AI. There's a huge boom of AI, and I really appreciate that a majority of your points where you ideated have been AI driven. Nevertheless, we also need to have a general set of ideas with various other things coming up, right? That's just a subtle feedback, but then yeah, this is really good. Now, I mean, as just a small feedback with respect to ordering of the brand which you're getting in between. I would say when you're doing the case study in itself, I personally am so used to seeing the solution frame up and then getting to the branding part of it. This, however, branding part with the teddy bear or the figure at the back reminded me of Duolingo very much. It kind of, even the colors kind of reminded me of Duolingo. It's all about how you stand out in the market, right? It's what is that? Those competitors which you have mapped in the graph, in the table, is offering that they are not offering that you are offering. That's the catch. So but this very much reminded me of Duolingo perhaps. So I would recommend you to look into the coloring of it. The green color of it and the shape of it very much reminded me of Duolingo. So that's the little feedback in terms of branding. And also the branding, when the flow of the case study comes, I would wanted to perhaps see it later. I would wanted to continue with the ideation part, slides, etc. So let's go. Yeah, this looks perfect. Yeah. So you said A/B testing is something which you have applied for, testing with the users, right? So again, why have you chosen A/B testing? What were the two options which you have taken for A/B testing as a base? Is something which could perhaps be coming out more clearly. That is something I would expect that this is, rather than giving me multiple examples of the screen, if you just give me one set of two screens where this is A, this is B, and this is how we tested. I think that would be, yeah, something like this. I would rather get a full sense of how you chose A/B testing and how effective was that in terms of case study. As a reviewer, I would like to see that. Okay. Keep going. Oh, I love your final product. More when your product was completely, when you were showing me in prototype mode, it shows how much of effort and hard work you guys have really put in for coming out with that final set of designs. It's really good. Some of the key points which I really like was the learning style, because that emphasized people learn differently. I think you have captured that in one of your prototypes. You've also spoken about your achievements as and when you achieve, you're given a name for your users, which is very good. And also a scanner part of it where you can scan the medicines and you can get the information part of it. Really, really good. That is really nice. I really loved it because I never have seen something like that. So that's something very appreciating. Yeah, we can keep going. Perfect. I mean, this is pretty much what I wanted to talk about with regards to your case study. Wonderful work, except for a little improvisations here and there, and bringing out your case study well. This is one good solutioning. Really good work, teammate. Really good work.
Awesome. Thank you so
Appreciate your
much.
time.
Sorry, yes. Thank you so much for the feedback, Mymoon. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of takeaways. An amazing work, Team 8. Just a round of applause again. Everyone suddenly, I'm guessing. But we can move on to the next team. So feel free to share your screen and you can start your presentation as well.
Hello. Everybody see this?
Yes, we can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So let's just get started. So hello, and thank you for attending our presentation where we'll be showcasing our e-commerce platform, Bamboo. So my name is Rafaela, and these are my teammates, Sherry, Dion, and Raymond. With our mentor, Jayesh, we're able to work on a 6-week-long project addressing a challenge prompt. And with the help of some tools such as Figma, Notion, Maze, Otter AI, Discord, and Zoom, we collaborated efficiently and we designed together while documenting our progress. So out of the 5 prompts, we selected one focused on e-commerce. Specifically, we were tasked to develop a sustainable e-commerce platform that promotes eco-friendly purchasing with features rewarding environmentally conscious choices. And why? Well, as a team committed to positive impact, we recognize the urgency of environmental challenges like climate change, pollution, and deforestation. So this is a great opportunity for us to potentially empower consumers to make a positive impact with every purchase. And by promoting these eco-friendly products and rewarding environmentally conscious choices, we're not just building a platform, we're igniting a movement towards a greener future. So that is something that's worth dedicating our time and effort to. Now I'll pass it on to Raymond for the research and discovery phase.
Thank you, Raf. For the first phase, we combined several methods: secondary research, surveys, interviews, and a competitor analysis. After completing secondary research, we found that most people are willing to change their current habits to reduce environmental impact, with 2/3 of consumers willing to pay more for sustainable products. Most of these consumers fall into the millennials and Gen Z demographic. We also discovered reasons why consumer would choose not to engage in eco-friendly online concerns, lack of trust in brands, and gaps in customer knowledge. With our surveys, we were able to gather quantitative data that assessed demographic information, online shopping behaviors, and overall attitude and motivations towards the purchase of eco-friendly products. The collected data reflected an interest in eco-friendly shopping, but a lack of consistency. The reasons mirrored the themes from our previous research, which cited high costs, a lack of clear information on sustainability practices, and lastly, the limited availability of options. Starting with a screening survey to filter out potential candidates, we conducted 7 user interviews. Our criteria was to find users who made purchases on an e-commerce platform within the last 3 months. We learned more about decision factors, challenges, and wants and needs. There was a recurring theme of trust, needing to trust the brand, its quality, and the information being presented, as well as considering affordability and overall value. For our competitor analysis, we focused on companies in the e-commerce space that offered eco-friendly products. The competitors that we looked at were EcoSwap, EcoWiser, and Etsy. Among these competitors, we noted how Etsy sells both eco-friendly and non-eco-friendly products. However, our research showed that Etsy doesn't have a lot of features that encourage sustainable shopping, and this was an area that we thought we could do better at. In summarizing our research, we found that consumers do care about sustainability, but experience issues regarding brand trust, affordability, and consistency of purchases. So how do we narrow this intention behavior gap? I will now pass it off to Dion to talk about the define stage of our project.
Thank you, Raymond. So in the define phase, we actually started off with an affinity map. So taking insights from our research and user interviews, we group our findings and data into categories such as attitude, shopping habits, motivations, needs, challenges, and solutions. And we were able to find common themes and obstacles that consumers face when shopping for eco-friendly products. As highlighted here, such credibility. Consumers are often wondering, are eco-friendly claims credible? Accessibility of information, are information readily present or easily discoverable? And efficacy of eco-friendly purchases. Consumers often wonder, am I making a difference with having a more eco-friendly purchasing habits? And with the gathered information from user interviews, we created our, next slide, please. With the gathered information from user interviews, we created our persona, Samuel, a young professional who has the desire to find eco-friendly products, but wishes product information were more transparent. We identify his information and frustration, as well as his goals when online shopping. Primarily, he is challenged by the lack of credibility and access to the information he needed affected his shopping experience when deciding between products. So we also took Samuel on a journey map just to understand the situation better. And in this journey map, Samuel is on the product hunt for an eco-friendly stain remover. Yeah, faces several barriers as he searches for the product, compares between offerings, proceeds to checkouts, and confirms his orders. There is a lot of confusion in what makes the products he decides to go the most valuable, and Samuel is left without much after pressing the buy button. And these strategies led us to create problem statements as we synthesized the top pain points. And the ones that we want to highlight was the one in the green. Users are not aware of eco-friendly alternatives that is comparable to factors that they consider in when evaluating a product, such as price, quality, logistics. And from these, we came up with possible pain relievers, the 12 how might we statements. We propose eventually narrow into one, which is how might we make it easier for users to compare eco-friendly products to their non-eco-friendly counterparts so they can feel more confident about buying eco-friendly alternatives. Narrowing down our focus gave us room to ideate on solutions. And moreover, we needed these ideas to address the challenge prompt, directly address the pain points, be feasibly accomplished within our time constraints, and offer unique solutions compared to its existing counterparts. And yeah, so our final solution allows us to mix features that we're able to clearly distinguish products from one another, highlighting eco-friendly attributes, and ultimately provide incentives for users to continue shopping sustainably. And with our value proposition, we help eco-conscious consumers seeking convenience and a positive impact by providing an all-in-one platform that streamlines sustainable shopping, where they can access transparent product insights, receive rewards, and build their eco-friendly lifestyle. And now I will be handing the presentation to Sherry, or should we talk about design?
Thank you, Dion. So jumping into the design phase. So we started with outlining 3 possible user flows, and we focus on one with this scenario. A user has a specific idea of the product they want to purchase, but wishes to explore eco-friendly options. And with this particular flow, we conducted a Crazy 8 activity to brainstorm and created diverse concept for inspiration. And we also created information architecture to map out our user's journey and identify key pages within our proposed platform. And given the time constraints, we prioritize designing the most crucial pages that directly address the problem at hand. And with our sketches and user journey identified, we began to work on lo-fi wireframes. We chose to begin with a basic website for our design to focus on building essential features and just quickly test out our concept. And we planned to make the site responsive in the future. And after we created a lo-fi, we gathered several design references to find inspiration for our design directions. We ended up choosing one that had earthier palettes with pop-up colors and illustration to show warmth. And for our brand, we chose the name Bamboo because it reflects our commitment to sustainability, as bamboo is a fast-growing renewable resource that symbolizes friendliness. And it is short and easy to remember, making it ideal for a brand focused on green products. And for the font, we used 2 different fonts to enhance our visual hierarchy and readability. We use PP Editorial New to grab attention for headlines, and Ribodo to provide a clear, easy-to-read text for the paragraph. And from the color palettes we chose earlier, we narrowed down to a soft teal color as our premium color to offer a fresh and modern feel, and a light color color to add a gentle, inviting contrast. The gray also serves as a neutral, darker shade that grounds the palette and enhances readability when used for text. And to ease out our design process, we utilize an existing design system and we modify the templates, and then we created our own design system and components library. So an example I show here is our color guide. So from our base color, we use a plugin to create the tints and shades, and so that we have like a wider range of design possibilities. And they also come with contrast ratios to help us make sure that our design meet WCAG standards. And we also gather components that are frequently used in our design, and then we created variants to accommodate different scenarios and user needs. So our platforms offer a few features that help us stand out. So first, we offer a product comparison features that enable users to select multiple similar products and to check, to review the specification of each. And these features allow them for a quick assessment of eco-friendly alternatives without having to navigate to a separate product page. And we also highlight specific sustainable features to help users make informed decisions. Another features we have here is we highlight a product's credibility through eco-certification logos. So we provided educational content to guide users on trustworthy eco-labels. So user can also find specific logos under products, whether it's on the product search page or a single product page. This helps clarify why something claimed to be eco-friendly to help user in making confident decisions. And lastly, our reward points program gives user ongoing incentives to purchase eco-friendly products. With selected tiers that offer discounts, as well as product purchase challenges that highlight eco-friendly incentives, user will feel more inclined to shop sustainably. And now I will hand over to Ralph, who will walk you through our testing phase.
Thanks, Sherry. So in the final phase testing, we used a mix of methods. So starting with the heuristic evaluation, we measured our current design against 10 usability heuristics, and we prioritized the issues, addressing the most critical ones first. So we also conducted 6 moderated and remote usability tests through a tool called Maze, where participants were asked to complete 6 tasks that while we observed them interacting with our prototype. So this process helped us to identify usability issues, recognize behavioral patterns, and pinpoint the areas for improvement. We analyzed the completion rates for each of these tasks, and most users were able to complete the challenges, in particularly understanding the product comparison feature and the reward system. However, some users struggled with understanding their membership tier and a point system. We then narrowed down our identified issues from these tests, seeing what was working and what wasn't, listing possible improvements to our prototype's design. So the first issue that we found is that some users had difficulty in distinguishing between completed and incomplete tasks, and they were looking for more effective organization and viewing methods. So we introduced a filter to enable users to separate the incomplete tasks and complete tasks with a better view of all the challenges. We also added the labels and visual cues to highlight completed the challenges, enhancing clarity and usability. The second issue we identified related to our reward tier system. Previously, we presented it in a card format, which made it challenging for some users to comprehend how to find and accumulate their total rewards points. So to address this, we integrated a progression bar along with a callout displaying their current points and their benefits. So this modification aimed to assist our users in understanding their progress easily. And lastly, our users have shared positive feedback regarding the value of eco-certification, information in making informed product choices. So our users showed interest in expanding their knowledge of sustainability. And in response, we've created a dedicated educational page featuring diverse content such as blogs, tips, and insights on why sustainability matters. So now we will walk you through our prototype. So the scenario in this case would be you were looking for a multi-purpose liquid cleaning solution to tackle a tough stain. So starting at the homepage, you are shown multiple product categories and daily product deals and some featured items and other savings. So clicking on the most relevant category can narrow down your search, in this case, cleaning essentials. So here we see that there are 38 sustainable products that fit our criteria. And each card details its eco certifications with an option to favorite an item and to compare between items or to add to cart. So notice how the sustainable purchases give you rewards points. So you can view other non-sustainable options in this site. But in this case, we'll be comparing these three features. Once we select the products to compare, we open a product comparison page, which gives us more insight into the specifications of each of the products and the brand. And we see details on the price and size and delivery, and more on meeting their eco-friendly criteria. So let's learn more about the Attitude Stain Remover. And opening up this individual product page gives you further details on the quantity and shipping options, as well as the review. So we can also see what makes this product actually eco-friendly by clicking on this eco logo and see the associated certifications and what criteria it needs to pass. So even though there are other alternatives as suggested below, we're going to choose to buy this stain remover. Before the final purchase, I'm given a chance to review the items in my cart, seeing price totals and the quantity of selection. And happy with my choices, I just placed my order. From placing the order, I've been rewarded with 55 sustainability points. So what are these for? Well, I try to learn more about the rewards program. And in this page, I see that I have accumulated 387 points in total, and that currently I'm earning 1% off all orders with the eco-conscious tier. So with more points, I can unlock the next level, and I can increasingly earn further discounts as I buy more sustainable purchases. And challenges, buying the eco-friendly products, they reward me with points, but I can also earn more points from completing challenges. So challenges are separated here by product category, in this case, organic skincare. So we've completed 6 of the challenges here. And as I hover over each one, it provides us more information on what we did to achieve them over here. And we can also shop for products that are related to that achievement. Now, if we want to learn more about which products have not been done, we just click on the available challenges filter, and it separates them into the challenges that we still need to complete. Again, shopping for products to meet the criteria. Now, if we want to learn more about our history on this platform, we can navigate to the dashboard and visit our recent online orders, our loyalty points amount, our wish list, more featured challenges, and see some recommended products. So that's just a sample of what Bamboo has to offer. And we want to make sure our design conforms with the WCAG standards, as mentioned before, and that is to ensure that it's accessible to all audiences. So development-wise, with the help of tried and true solutions like Shopify, we have more confidence in actually implementing this design. So in conclusion, we're proud to have achieved such high-quality work in such a short period of time. With that, we've learned a few things along the way. Prioritization was important to know which solutions yielded the most impact. Communication and collaboration was important for breaking down our tasks, learning from them, and supporting each other. Time management was important to ensure the meeting of our deadlines. And lastly, using digital tools streamline our workflow and help us be more efficient throughout the process. So while we only had 6 weeks to complete this design challenge, we definitely learned a lot from the UX process. And we hope to implement more changes throughout the future with continuous testing and iterations, especially pertaining to improving accessibility and responsiveness of our platform. So maybe even a mobile app could be in the works. Thank you for attending our presentation, and thank you to IterateUX for hosting this design challenge. We welcome any questions.
Thank you so much. Another round of amazing presentation. Again, I'd like to pass it on to Mymoon to provide feedback for this round of presentation as well.
Okay. So, team 15, very good job done. But I have a few questions with respect to your case study. When the mm, when the problem statement was an e-commerce platform promoting the sustainability, you emphasize being on the sustainability. Have you guys given a thought about how the user's mental model would be when the user is trying to purchase things, but your website tries to lay emphasis on the footprint or the sustainability part of it, or the green carbon print which he or she is laying? Like when you're combining these two aspects, did you ever think about how the mental model of the user would be when they are purchasing and using your platform? There are e-commerce giants like Amazon, blah, blah, which largely focus on selling the product rather than sustainability and the green footprint, which each of the product leaves. Okay. Are you, I hope you're getting my point of view or the question I'm trying to pose to you. Now, combining this e-commerce with sustainability are two large things coming together. Now, how do you think as a solution, your app addresses and kind of makes user even conscious while buying, that, okay, when as a user, when I'm purchasing from e-commerce, I'm more bothered about the product, or maybe I'm in a hurry to buy the products, just not being bothered about the green footprint or how from eco-friendly point of view is it scoring. I would rather just buy the product. But how would you sell your it almost felt like you're putting your website is called Bamboo, and it talks about eco-friendliness, but how are you converging that with e-commerce, and how do you think as a group you're outbeating that, making it as a practice for the end user to be very conscious about the eco-friendly purchase? That I felt was slightly challenging. It's still there in your solution. I think that is yet to be addressed. That's my huge takeaway from this case study. I really feel that combining e-commerce and sustainability and bringing that as a practice to the general public who anyways purchase anything from the huge wide world is still a challenge. Right. So as a solution, I appreciate you have brought in the footprint or the eco-friendliness of each and every product which the user is buying. But would really any e-commerce purchaser be interested in that? How do you fulfill that? And how do you address that? Is a large problem, which I think as a solution you could have improvised on. Right. So that's my first and prime question to you as a team. But otherwise, yeah, it's a wonderful work. I really see that you have put in a lot of effort for what it takes for 6 weeks. Can we just go a bit of slide by slide so that I can kind of give you nuances of feedback more further? I see you guys were working in person. That's lovely. Keep going. Yeah, just can you go back to the set of research you chose? So it's secondary research where you have done surveys, interviews, and competitive analysis. These are the three main things which you have done. Okay, keep going. I think surveys and interviews, you guys had a very good number with respect to the participation. I think you mentioned around 40 plus, 50 plus people have participated in survey, if I heard it right. But that's a good number when compared to, usually in such design challenges, you might not get much response, but really appreciate your team for getting good responses here. And of course, people would really care about sustainability. One surprising thing was people are willing to pay more, which came out of the research. And I think that's a good thing you found from the research part of it. Keep going. Keep going. This is really good. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you having an insight of What were the potential interview questions you have taken? Have you given that slide somewhere? A Snapchat, a sneak peek of what were the interview questions you have framed? I think as a case study, if you could give me a sneak peek of what were the interview questions you have structured. I know it could be a semi-structured interview, but if you would give me that, that would also help me understand what was your thought process in framing the questions and what kind of questions have you posed on to the end participants, right? That would be really nice. Please keep going. Competitive analysis. Okay, so at the if you go to the competitive analysis, and if you have found these guys offering a similar solution, at the end of the day, what is that you guys as in USP brought out from what these guys are not doing is something which you'll have to outline and highlight, maybe in the solution part of it, and bring that, okay, this is not there in EcoSwap, it's not there in EcoWise and in Etsy, so we have brought something out. So that as an reviewer or a judge or as a reviewer, I would love to see. Yeah, that is a simple thing which you guys can win a point and keep going. However, I think this is not coming under define phase. If it was marked under define, in the slide prior, slide 12. Yeah, this is still research. Am I right? Yeah. Okay, keep going. Yep. Right. Keep going. I think persona, everything. Here, journey map. I see that your problem statements, which you have found out, and where you see that the feelings of the person is not that great. Of course, you have given set of opportunities, which was down the line in a couple of slides, but I think opportunities could as well be found in the journey map in itself. What is that making the person feel little less happy in this journey map? And how could I potentially make the mood up or convert that into a positive experiences where the journey map can play a potential role? I think that section in itself could be included here. Keep going. Yeah. Right. I think this is good. And so your solution of, all these 5 points came out really well. But again, like I said, the elephant in the room is how do you compel people to be very green conscious when they are doing e-commerce is a larger problem statement. When there could be majority of the people who could still be, who could say in the interview that I'm very conscious about green, I love to go green. But in reality, do they really do that? That's a larger question. And I think larger research and a lot of time furthermore spent on research phase can help you identify that and validate that point. Because you have taken an interview from a bunch of 10 people or less. And they could, every person, if you ask, they would say, yes, I would love to go green. But would they go green if they are, if they are told to do so while they are shopping? That's a larger question. As a team, you will have to still further do a bit of more research and find out. Keep going. Yeah, lovely. Keep going. Yeah. So I think this is all good. My only I mean, this is all good. This ideas with which I saw the prototype with which you was there a specific reason you guys chose website rather than a mobile app? Because the usual tendency was to is to go with an app, but then you guys took a little other way around. Was there any reason you guys chose with a larger a device?
Honestly, just one of the reasons was because we just wanted to challenge ourselves by designing something that was desktop. We may have had another reason, which I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't know if any of our teammates remember, but one of the reasons was because we just wanted to just have more practice with a desktop platform. It could have easily have been a mobile platform. We did.
I saw your slides there where you look for a mobile app. And I really appreciate that because desktop for e-commerce is actually friendly. That because when you're shopping on e-commerce and desktop go together, and I thought that was one of the reasons. However, I wanted to hear your opinion as well. Yeah. And regarding the brand identity, was there, I mean, Bamboo being, I really like the way you guys have labeled this, but at the end of the day, when I see Bamboo, I correlate it to be a completely green footprint or green analysis rather than an e-commerce. It doesn't bring the e-commerce aspect of it much. So
Yeah.
would I really shop in Bamboo? I don't know until I learn a bit of it. Okay, until I get used to a bit of it. It looks more like, I compare my footprint or I compare my eco-friendliness and look into the scoring of how green am I. It looks that kind of website doesn't bring the e-commerce aspect of it by just the branding of it. That's the comment I have. And your colors are really good, but I would leave it to a visual design expert further to comment on it, but I really like the way you guys have brought out this pastel kind of colors, and I mean subtle and really soothing to eye. That goes completely with your this thing. I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate the accessibility which you guys have focused on. Keep going. I think we're going a little overboard in terms of time, but just I wanted to call out all the points so that you can work on gradually and improve further. Yeah, I like the design highlight too. This is a really nice feature, design highlight too, where you guys have focused on, can you go to the number 2? 33, yeah. I really like this, where you guys are focusing on the logo, which help you to stay green more. This is a very appreciative highlight. Keep going. Yeah. Yeah. So this was heuristic on your own design from the first design which you created, is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Usually heuristics is where we use for an existing solution and then we bring in points, but yeah, works for me. Yeah. Keep going. I think that is pretty much what I have towards your presentation. Overall, you're really hard. I can see the hard work which came out. Really good work. Yeah, testing. I think you guys have done tremendous testing, and I really like the way you guys have implemented the testing points and improvised on your design in such short span of time. I really appreciate that. Okay, keep going. And I really like this progress bar. My only thing, can you go back to your prototype view where you can show me this improvement in your real time? And one small feedback, I see 2 deals on the top menu, your information architecture, you need to recheck, I guess. So I see 2 deals. You may have to just recheck on why you have included. But yeah, and I also see that, yeah, this is really good. But when I compare and contrast, right? No, for the rewards. Can you go to the rewards point of it where you showed me that progress of? I think this should come more from a structural visual point, from an information hierarchy point of view. I think this has to move up because I think that will be more motivating. And also view challenges part of it. I think when you're selecting view challenge and you are asking users to, complete the challenge, I felt it was more like, I'm not sure if I would really be interested in skincare products only, or I think you should leverage more of AI, where you can bring in what is the buying pattern of the user and how can you set your challenges based on the buying patterns. I think that would be something you can think in those lines. Because for me as an end user, this was a little difficult to understand, frankly, when you first came in, because how do you post challenges on a e-commerce website where I'm buying things and I have my own buying patterns? So that was something where you need to little work on, I guess. Yep. Yeah, that is pretty much what I observed from your case study, and I think this is really good work. However, there's quite a bit of areas to improve on, which I think eventually in your iterations you will as a team. Great work.
Thank you so much for the feedback. That's very helpful.
Awesome. Thanks for such a detailed feedback, Mymoon.
I'm really sorry I went a little overboard for all your comments, but I just wanted to cover in generally. Although
Yeah.
I won't.
Yeah, that's okay. I think there was a lot of interesting and valuable takeaways. So I think it would not be, I'm hoping it's not really an issue for a lot of people. And also, well, this is just a quick reminder that this is recorded. So if anyone else was not able to make it or had to drop off early, they can view the full event. But that brings us, well, that's basically the wrap up of the second team. Thank you so much for both teams, uh, for all the hard work that you put in, both throughout the design challenge as well as for this presentation. This was, not even a requirement, and you guys went above and beyond to do this. And Mymoon, thank you so much for such in-depth feedback, not just on the design process, but overall, just a few thought-provoking, exercises as well into evaluating if you're building the right thing or not. So I think there's
I would have got more time. I would have given a lot more. I just had 10 minutes. I went to a little overboard. I'm really sorry, but then thank you.
Yeah, but I think it just showcases how, how we can also start thinking as designers, how much more critical we can become to come up with a solution that would really fit the needs of the users, solve the problems. So thank you so much for in-depth feedback as well. And I think there's a lot of, learnings from what was done well and what could be improved. So thank you all for everyone for attending this. I'm pretty sure it was very valuable. And I'm super excited to share this recording with other people as well, so they have a lot of takeaways as well. So that brings us to the end. If anyone had any questions, you can drop in the chat. If not, we can end this call. Again, this will be shared with everyone possibly tomorrow. Yeah, so feel free to ask any questions. If not, we can end this call today. Awesome. I think since we don't have anything, thank you again everyone for joining this. Hope you have a good night or a good day wherever you are. And we'll see you all again tomorrow for the second day of presentations.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.